Oh! We are one day closer to the NHL All-Star break in beautiful Columbus, Ohio. But we have an All-Star game this evening in sunny Orlando, Florida for the East Coast Hockey League. And the NBA continues tonight as the Cavs play host to the Jazz. It's going to be an interesting show today. I hope you're ready. Get set. Another edition of All Andy Alfred starts right now, only on ClayFan23 and on Google Plus Hangout. Some OAR on this the day before the All-Star break. There's a road outside Columbus, Ohio. Beside me, that high street always felt so good. I miss my lady, even though she often writes me. She tells the tales of my neighborhood. I think this is why they got chosen to play at the All-Star game. The song. Bum, ba-da-da-dum. Oh, da-da-da. OAR with the road outside Columbus, the road to Columbus, Ohio, and the NHL All-Star Game starts today as we finish up the first half of the regular season. And I love you guys, and welcome to All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, ClayFan23, and on Google Plus. And welcome into All Andy Alfred on this Wednesday, the 21st of January, 2015. I hope you're having a terrific day outside right now. And it is a cold, snowy conditions here in the Midwest right now. We had one of those Alberta Clippers, Manitoba Clippers, in my opinion, because the Blue Jackets playing in Manitoba, Canada tonight as the Blue Jackets take on the Winnipeg Jets. We'll preview that game as well as preview the ECHL All-Star Game and look at last night's action in the NBA as well, too. So let's talk about what happened, though, last night on the ice in the NHL and a big docket of games yesterday, mostly Metropolitan Division teams in action yesterday. And we start off in the at the Garden, Madison Square Garden to be exact. It was the New York Rangers in overtime defeating the Ottawa Senators 3-2. It was Chris Kreider for the Rangers to tie it up in the third period to force overtime, his 10th of the season. Erik Karlsson for the Ottawa Senators, his 9th of the season, but it was Carl Hagelin, his 9th of the season, in overtime to give the Rangers their much-needed 3-2 victory over the Ottawa Senators. Washington loses to Edmonton in a shootout, 5-4. Alexander Ovechkin having a goal in the game, or minute 48 into the first period, but it was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with only a minute and change left to go in the game to tie it up, his 12th of the season. And in the shootout, it was Teddy Parcell, the game-winning shootout victory as the Edmonton Oilers win 5-4 over the Washington Capitals in overtime. And this game last night, if it was on NBCSN, I thought Wednesday night rivalry. This game would be a Wednesday night rivalry game. It's now a Tuesday night rivalry as the Pittsburgh Penguins headed into Philadelphia to take on the Flyers. Needed overtime for that one, and the Flyers getting a much-needed 3-2 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Sidney Crosby cannot win in Philadelphia, no matter what the situation is. Luke Shin had the first goal for the Flyers, his second of the season. Chris Kunitz, his 14th of the season. Blue Bennett, his third, and Chris Verdale, his sixth. But Claude Giroux getting the game-winning power play goal in overtime at 3:57 into overtime. His 16th of the season gave the Philadelphia Flyers a 3-2 victory in that one. The Nashville Predators lose to the Montreal Canadiens 2-1. PK Subban in overtime with the game winner for the Canadiens in a shootout. Finally, the Red Wings win a shootout. The world must be coming to an end. Oh my goodness. It's hailing. It's hailing. The plague is beginning again. The Red Wings win in a shootout at Joe Louis Arena. Mikko Koivu, his 7th of the season. Teemu Plunkett for the Red Wings, his first as a Red Wing. Jonathan Eriksson, his second of the season in the first period, made it 2-1 for the Red Wings. It was 4-1 Red Wings after 2 off of Gustav Nyquist and Xavier Omelette, his second of the season. But then Minnesota piloted up from Parise. Parise scoring at the 13:21 mark in the third period, giving the Wild the tie, but it was Gustav Nyquist with the game-winner shootout for the Detroit Red Wings to give the Wings a much-needed 5-4 victory. Tampa Bay getting a 4-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. It was the Chicago Blackhawks destroying the Arizona Coyotes 6-1. Patrick Kane, his 22nd of the season. Jonathan Toews, his 14th of the season. And the Boston Bruins defeated the Dallas Stars 3-1. Louis Eriksson, his 11th of the season for the Boston Bruins. Dougie Hamilton, his 8th of the season for the Boston Bruins. So tonight is an interesting docket in the NHL tonight. It will be a small slate. The NBCSN game is the Chicago Blackhawks on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's a 8 o'clock start time on NBC. 8 o'clock start time on NBCSN. At 7 o'clock tonight, it is the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Ottawa Senators. 8 o'clock start time for that one. At 9 o'clock tonight is the Blue Jackets in Winnipeg. We'll preview that game here in just a moment. Going through the rest of the games going on in the NHL. Boston taking on Colorado, 10 o'clock. Calgary and Anaheim at 10 o'clock. And then the late game, 10:30 on NBCSN. Another Wednesday night rivalry matchup. The LA Kings on the road to take on the San Jose Sharks. Well, the Winnipeg Jets are going to try to get their 5th straight victory and end the first half of the season, because most teams have played more than half of their games so far. They're eyeing their 5th victory this season, and they'll host the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. The last time these two teams met was on November 25th, 2014. The Winnipeg Jets getting a 4-2 victory over the Blue Jackets. And if you remember that game, the Blue Jackets were struggling with the injury bug, and a lot better of a team going forward tonight in this game. The Winnipeg Jets, for Evander Kane, scored 2 goals, with Michael Hitcherson making 32 saves in the 4-2 victory for the Blue Jackets on the 25th. Ryan Johansson and Sergei Bobrovsky were in the game. Johansson with a goal and Sergei with 28 saves. The Blue Jacket team is finishing its 3-game road trip in Winnipeg after a 3-1 victory against the Wild on Monday night. With the win, the Jackets will have will be their second in a row after ending a 4-game losing streak. Defenseman James Wisniewski had a goal and 2 assists, and Bobrovsky had 25 saves in the win against Minnesota. Johansson saw a 13-game point streak come to an end on Monday night. Johansson had 8 goals, 8 assists during the streak, which is the longest active streak in the NHL. Game on Monday was the first time since December 16th that he did not record a single point. Right winger Jack Skilly will return to the lineup after missing 4 games with a lower body injury, with Skilly healthy again. Right winger Jared Bull was a healthy scratch and missed his first game of the season. Defenseman Jordan Leopold was a healthy scratch for the 15th consecutive game. After the 2015 All-Star game at Nationwide Arena on the 25th, the Blue Jackets will host the Washington Capitals, and yours truly will be in attendance at that game on that Tuesday. We will have a special All Andy Alfred coming to you from Columbus on Tuesday afternoon on the road. It'll be the road version of All Andy Alfred. While the Winnipeg Jets with Matthew Perreault, after getting sideswiped, after being hit against the Chicago Blackhawks the other night, after a 4-3 win in a shootout over the Arizona Coyotes at home on Sunday, the Jets have won 4 consecutive games. He remains out for this game, according to the Jets website. Kane took Perreault's place, second line against Arizona. The website WinnipegJets.ca is reporting that defenseman Jacob Tuve could play Wednesday, with defenseman Mark Stewart may not be available. Coach Paul Maurice Hutchers was still practicing on Tuesday practice, according to Paul Maurice. Tuba might be in the game. It'd be an interesting development to see what happens with him this evening on that one. After the All-Star break, the Jets will begin a 2-game road trip, seeing them in Pittsburgh on the 27th of this month. Looking at some of the stats at this game, players to look out for tonight, of course, Andrew Ladd, a very big player to watch out. Blake Wheeler, Dustin Byfuglien right now. Was one of the top 3 stars in the NHL this past week with his performance that he had this week. It's going to be interesting to see how he's going to line up tonight for the Jackets to look out for. Of course, you got to look out for Alexander Wenberg, a fast player. Matt Calvert as well, too. Vandy Ice, 6 goals and 6 assists so far this season. You also got to look out for Ryan Johansson, 17 goals, 26 points as well, too. Jared Bull's got to get back on the point streak. He's got no goals yet this season. He is a minus 10. Needs to get back on the winning side of the whole system. And Tim Eriksson needs to step up too as well, too. 1 goal, 5 assists. Jackets and Jets tonight, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock start time for that one, because they are going to be picked up in all of Canada for the big show on CBC or Sportsnet, what they have it. Sportsnet 1, they'll be on the big Sportsnet, so they'll be on the national stage of Hockey Night in Canada for that one tonight at MTS Center and in Manitoba. And if you haven't been to this place, it used to host the Manitoba Moose, the AHL team. The AHL team is disbanded. Another AHL team that we just found out is disbanding is the Oklahoma City Barons. Like I mentioned before, I do not see that Toledo will get an AHL team with the Grand Rapids Griffins and the Lake Erie Monsters close by. I don't see that actually coming to fruition at any point. And especially with new realignment happening in the AHL at the end of next season, you better believe that that there will be a new system and a new organization going forward forward in the AHL. We are going to be down in Columbus this weekend for the NHL All-Star Game festivities. It is going to be a fun weekend, but right now, taking a look at the standings going forward into tonight's play, the short docket that we have, Metropolitan Division-wise, after last night's key victories did not help the Jackets at all right now. In the Metropolitan Division, the Islanders are still in first place with 63 points at 31-14-1 with 63 points. Pittsburgh is 26-12-7 with 59 points, and the Rangers are in third place, 27-13-4 with 58 points. In the wildcard division, it is the Washington Capitals now, who are 24-13-9 with 57 points. The Boston Bruins are in second place with 25 wins, 16 losses, and 6 overtime losses with 56 points. The Blue Jackets are now finishing up in seventh place. With the Flyers' victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins yesterday, the Flyers are now 19-22-7 with 45 points. With the Blue Jacket victory tonight, they will hit the 500 mark at 21-3 right now with 43 points. If they win tonight, they hit the 500 mark. They'll be 45 with 45 points, and they will be 21-3. And it'll be great to see this team get back to 500 especially this early at the halfway point of the season, because we all thought, even me, when we were down in injuries, if we can get to 500 by the All-Star break, I would be very, very happy with that, because we limped our way closer and closer to it. And looking at some of the games that we won going forward in the first half of the season, the first win against the Pittsburgh Penguins, the opening night victory against the New York Rangers, and then I think that pivotal game against the Blackhawks at Nationwide was great for the organization to get back onto the winning page, to get back on the saddle. It'll be great. Atlantic Division, the best team in hockey right now, besides the Anaheim Ducks, and the best team in the Eastern Conference right now is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have 64 points. They're 30-14-4. Detroit is in second place. They're 27-11-9 with 63 points. Montreal 29-13-3 with 61 points. In the Western Conference, Nashville is in first place in the Central Division. They're 30-10-5 with 65 points after the loss to Montreal yesterday. St. Louis is now 29-13-4 with 62 points. Chicago 29-15-2 with 60 points. The Anaheim Ducks have the best record of all of hockey right now at 30-10-6 with 66 points. Vancouver is 26-16-3 with 55 points. San Jose is 24-17-6 with 54 points. The wild card in the Western Conference, the Winnipeg Jets are the number one seed in the wild card race. They are 25-14-8 with 58 points, taking their record into tonight's game against the Blue Jackets, while the Calgary Flames are holding the second position in the wild card race with a record of 25-18-3 with 53 points. Looking at it, the worst team in all of hockey right now is not the Blue Jackets, thank goodness. If you're looking at it, Buffalo is the worst team. They're 14-30-3 with 31 points. The second closest to Edmonton at 12-26-9 with 33 points. Looking at it league-wise, the whole league-wise, the Blue Jackets right now, league-wise, are 25th out of the 30 teams. The only teams that are lower than them are New Jersey, Carolina, two metropolitan teams, Arizona, Edmonton, and Buffalo. Those five teams are behind the Blue Jackets. Ahead for the Jackets after the All-Star break, of course, like I said, is the Washington Capitals. The Capitals looking to improve on their winning ways after winning the other night. And after the Washington game, it will be a road trip to Florida to take on the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. That Tampa Bay Lightning game, I don't think you could write it as maybe a possible upset, but how Tampa has been playing in the first half of the season, it will be a shocker if the Blue Jackets go in there. And they can. Don't get me wrong. They can. They can go in there and surprise a lot of teams. They've done it before. They can surprise Washington, too. Beat a wild card team. But they have the Florida Panthers after the Washington game. And I got a question for you fans out there. Do you think, and this is just me, I'm gonna show you my opinion about this. I think there should only be one team in the Florida region in the NHL, and that should be Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay has proven that team can stay in that building and fill the building. Florida Panthers got lucky that year that they made the playoffs and made it to the Stanley Cup final to take on the Colorado Avalanche. In my opinion, I don't think Florida deserves the franchise. That team should be moved to Quebec or to Seattle or to the other Toronto or somewhere in the Midwest, Kansas City. Kansas City Panthers would be sounding pretty good. Quebec Nordiques would be fine too. But I just don't think Florida, the Panthers, deserve an organization. How many people, they can't even fill the building on a regular night for a game against like Carolina or a game like Columbus. I want to see what the attendance is going to be like next Thursday when the Blue Jackets do go the road and they play the Florida Panthers. I want to see what the attendance is going to be. Because if the attendance is low for that game, that's going to prove a point, yours truly, that this organization can't survive anymore in the Florida Panhandle. They can't. The NHL All-Star Game, like I said, we will be down in Columbus this upcoming Saturday and Sunday for the big NHL All-Star festivities. The fanfare starting up tomorrow afternoon for the season ticket holders, and then it will be open to the public Friday starting at 3 o'clock till 10, Saturday from 10 till 7, and Sunday from 10 until 4. We'll be there on Saturday and Saturday night into Sunday for the All-Star Fan Fest. I hope you get to join us. We will be in attendance as well, too, seeing the first ever NHL Mascot Challenge. You heard this yet, folks? The Blue Jackets will have the NHL inaugural Mascot Showdown. Under the helm of Columbus Blue Jackets' own Stinger, will face off against the Eastern Conference mascots. Will face off against the Western Conference mascots in a 2-day friendly but fierce competition at both the Fanfare and just before the All-Star Skills Competition at Nationwide Arena. The newest part of the NHL mid-season celebration, the NHL Mascot Showdown, marks the first time that all 26 NHL teams, not every NHL team has its own mascot, will compete in a All-Star weekend to show off their hockey skills and athletic prowess, offering family-friendly fun for all ages. The action starts off on Friday at 7 o'clock with the NHL mascots going head-to-head in a broomball and dodgeball match on the Fanfare Street Hockey Rink presented by York. And then on Saturday, the action will get back into play at 1 o'clock for the mascot dance-off. Relay racing included a 3-legged challenge, wheelbarrow racing, leapfrog, balloon relay, tug-of-war, and more. Both days' matchups will be at the Fanfare and will be hosted by the Blue Jackets' own Mike Todd. Love Mike Todd. Great in arena host voice. Yeah. And then on Saturday, prior to the 2015 NHL All-Star Skills Competition, the NHL mascots will face off in a 10-minute period game of hockey between the Eastern Conference mascots and the Western Conference mascots. Stinger will excite the hometown crowd as the Eastern Conference captain, while Bailey, the Los Angeles Kings Lion, will serve the Western Conference captain. The showdown will conclude with the presentation of the inaugural Most Valuable Mascot Award to the game's top performer in the mascot trophy to the winning team. Quote, this is from Dave McCarthy, Vice President of Consumer Products for the NHL. We're very excited for the first year of the NHL Mascot Showdown, which is set to offer something new and entertaining for fans of every age. The NHL All-Star Weekend is a true celebration of hockey, and our NHL mascots are terrific ambassadors for the team and the sport. They can't wait to join the fun and get on the ice just like the NHL pros and cheer on in Columbus. Some of the mascots that are going to be there, okay? You got to listen to some of these mascots, right? Sabretooth from the Buffalo Sabres. Sparky from the Islanders. Thunderbug from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Iceberg from the Pittsburgh Penguins. I wonder if he's going to get booed at Nationwide. Slapshot the Eagle from the Washington Capitals. Carlton from the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Bear is going to be there. I hope he's the goaltender. Spartacat from the Ottawa Senators. Blake the Bruin from the Boston Bruins. That dancing bear is going to be on the ice. The New Jersey Devil will be there. Stormy from the Carolina Hurricanes. San Lee Sea Panther from the Florida Panthers. Yuppie from the Montreal Canadiens and formerly the Montreal Expos will be there in attendance. And of course, Stinger acting as captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets. For the Western Conference is Wild Wing from the Anaheim Ducks, Bernie from the Colorado Avalanche, Gosh from the Nashville Predators, Louis from the St. Louis Blues, Harvey the Hound from the Calgary Flames. If you remember Harvey the Hound, he got his tongue pulled out in that one game back in the 90s. Nordy from the Minnesota Wild, Finn from the Vancouver Canucks, Tommy Hawk from the Chicago Blackhawks, Victor E. Green from the Dallas Stars, Holler from the Arizona Coyotes, S.C. Sharkey from the San Jose Sharks, Moose from the Manitoba Moose, formerly from the Manitoba Moose, now with the Winnipeg Jets, and Bailey the Lion from the Los Angeles Kings. Fans will have the opportunity to meet the mascots for photos and autographs at NHL Mascot Clubhouse inside NHL Fanfare. The clubhouse will serve as the central location for all mascots appearances, exclusive merchandise for the NHL mascots, including mini sticks, pucks, pennants, hats, t-shirts, cozy fleece blankets, pillow pets, and children's books. Hockey fans can allow all the live action of the NHL Mascot Showdown on Snapchat, Twitter, and access a handy list of NHL mascot Twitter handles. The NHL Facebook page will include an album with photos, bios, Twitter handles, and so much more. You can join in with the hashtag NHL All-Star and NHL Fanfare. And the tickets are still available right now. You can go on Ticketmaster.com or BlueJackets.com or NHL.com/fanfare. Tickets are available right now. They're $16 at the gate, $12 for children. That's at the day of the event, but you can get your tickets now by purchasing them online at $12 a piece, $10 for children. And like I said, the hours for the fanfare this year are Friday, the 23rd from 3 p.m. till 10, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 7, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Looking forward to being down at Nationwide Arena for this big event. Looking forward to being with you, the NHL fans, for this big event as well, too. We're taking the show on the road with us to this big event. Once in a lifetime opportunity to go to an NHL All-Star game, and it happening in our great state of Ohio is great as well to see. NHL All-Star Skills Competition also was announced today to the competition. What will happen? You can go online right now on Twitter.com. Besides tweet the show, it is at Andy Alfred to get into the conversation. You could use the hashtag NHL Breakaway and then the player's name. Okay, so here is your choices for the players. You have Johnny Gaudreau from the Calgary Flames, Claude Giroux from the Philadelphia Flyers, and Ryan Johansson. Johansson's in second place right now in voting. We want to get him to be number one. Johansson, the fans will have the opportunity to exercise their vote in the NHL Breakaway Challenge, with 5 spots determined by captain. 1 guarantee spot in the event will be determined by the fan. And of those 3 players, you, the fans, determine the spot. And here's how the point system is going to be. The Bridgestone NHL Fastest Skater Competition, 5 points available for the winner who scores the points. The team with the fastest skater earns a bonus point. Here's the list of the events. You have the Bridgestone Fastest Skater, the Honda Breakaway Challenge, the DraftKings NHL Accuracy Shooting, the Gatorade NHL Skills Challenge Relay, the AMP NHL Hardest Shot, and then the Discover Shootout. The Breakaway Challenge is, like I said, the Breakaway Challenge, simple enough for that one. The NHL Accurate Shooting, the target practice on the nets. You got to fire in the nets. The Skills Relay. You got to have the one-timer, the passing, puck control, stick handling, and goalie goals. And then the AMP Hardest Shot, type of speed. Points for the Skills Relay is 3 points. Hardest Shot is 5 points. Accuracy is 5 points. And then the Discover Shootout. All 48 participants will take place on 14 players, 2 goalies per round. It is a 3-round shootout during which each 2-minute rounds. 7 skaters, 1 goalie from each team will take the ice, and it will be very interesting to see what happens. Points of 1 point for each goal, 2 points for every goal scored with the Discover card puck. And that will be announced. Team Foligno will choose his selections, and Team Taves will choose his selections on Friday night as the NHL All-Star Fanfare event at the Greater Columbus Convention Center happening on Friday. They'll have the team selection, and then Saturday will be the skills competition. Looking forward to going down there and seeing that, and seeing the great fans in the NHL. Well, tonight we have a different All-Star game to talk about tonight, and it's the East Coast Hockey League All-Star game, as it is in sunny, beautiful Orlando, Florida tonight, as at the Amway Center. It will be the Orlando Solar Bears, team, taking on the ECHL All-Star Games team, as I readjust myself here in this chair. The ECHL All-Star team is represented one Toledo Walleye player. His name is Tyler Barnes. 15 goals, 25 assists, and 40 points. Gets him a starting nod for the East Coast team. Here's the starting lineup tonight for the East Coast Hockey League Stars. It will be Tyler Barnes on forward. It will be on defense, Colin Bowman from Colorado. He's an assistant captain. Oliver Ombrecht from Alaska. It will be also Riley Brace from the Wheeling Nailers. He's a forward. And on defense, it will be the captain, James Martin from the Fort Wayne Comets. He's got 6 goals, 22 assists, and 28 points. He is a +2 for the ECHL All-Stars. And then that will be from the Ontario Reign, Joe Quintana for the ECHL All-Stars. The Orlando Solar Bear team will have Garrett Sparks. It will have Phil Kessel's brother, Blake Kessel, plays on this team. And since Toronto is affiliate, it'll be interesting to see what will happen tonight. The head coach tonight for the ECHL All-Stars is Greg Prost from Florida. Assistant coach is Steve Martinson from Allen. And the equipment manager from Colorado is Tony Denizer. Tonight's officials are Nick Louis and Andrew Wilk. Linesmen are Craig Allies and James Johnstone. You can watch the game tonight on Sports Time and also on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. That game will be on the air around 7 o'clock. You can also listen to the game online as well too. It will be on 7:40 the game in Orlando, as well as iHeartSolarBears.com, the iHeart Radio app. And the broadcast team for that is from the Wheeling Nailer organization as well too. So it is ECHL All-Star weekend for them. ECHL All-Star game tonight, and then tomorrow will be another day off, and then we get back into the ECHL wing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with the Walleye being home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kalamazoo, Elmira, and Wheeling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Huntington Center. Get your tickets now by calling 419-725-WALL. The ticket office is okay. The front office staff is horrible. No, really? You know what? Well, the ticket office is horrible too, because they didn't give the refunds out. We are still getting floods of emails from people saying that still have not gotten their refunds yet from the Winter Classic fallout from that Saturday night game against the Fort Wayne Comets. So people have still not gotten their refunds yet. So I'm still calling for Joe Napoli's job. And you want to see an embarrassing photo of Joe Napoli? You ready for this? Let me pull it up here for you. I just found this the other day when I was searching through my sports memorabilia. Anybody recognize this? It is the final program from 2001 from Ned Skeldon Stadium. You think Joe Napoli was a creeper now? Look at this picture of him. Oh my God, he has the mullet and everything. He looks like a stupid creep. He looks like an honest creep. God, I hate you, Joe. You should drop the hockey, and stick with baseball, because more money is being made in baseball. You want to hear something also that's stupid as well too? You want to see something horrible? If you haven't seen what the old Muddy the Mud Hen looked like, the old Muddy the Mud Hen is absolutely horrendous. The old Muddy the Mud Hen was horrendous. The new one is more cartoonish, more fun, more understanding. Here he is. Here it is right here. Look at this old Muddy the Mud Hen. He's got chicken legs. He's wedged out like that. You've got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. This is how the organization was back in the 90s. Ridiculous. Oh, man. But I did find some interesting stuff in this magazine, in this program. Of course, the story about Frank Hooley and everything like that, and Jamie Farr as well too, the 1999 team as well too. But one big piece right here was the Bob Costas piece that I found here. Bob Costas, while taping a World Series promo in the 1985, Costas equipped as a former player with the Toledo Mudhens. After scrambling through the archives to find the fabrication, the Hens invited Bob out for a game in 1986. He ended up staying for 3 games, coaching first base and joining Jim Weber in the radio booth. Bob Costas was with the Toledo Mudhens. The Toledo Mudhens for a time. Unbelievable. That is your key piece. Bob Costas was a part of the Mudhens. Coached the first base, broadcast 3 games with Jim Weber. And Jim Weber needs to give it up anyway, too. Young talent like yours truly should be in the booth offering my services. Hell, I'd do it for free. Just give me a couple hot dogs and a soda, and you're good. I'm good. Be like Carey. Wouldn't be drunk. I wouldn't. I go out in the outfield for a couple games, maybe, to sit with you, the fans, instead of sitting up there. Oh, let's eat popcorn. Let's eat these Ballrick chips that our fans have given us. You gotta give me a break. NBA stuff from last night. 2 games on the docket. There was the Miami Heat at home last night at the American Airlines Center as they took on a very, very good Oklahoma City Thunder team, and the Oklahoma City Thunder beating the Miami Heat 94-86. The San Antonio Spurs winning 109-99 in their game against the Denver Nuggets. Tonight on the docket in the NBA on this Wednesday night, some good games. The Heat are on the road to take on the Hornets. The Jazz will now hit the road, who are 14-27, 7-15 on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 22-20, 12-9 at home. 7 o'clock tip-off on Fox Sports Ohio, and also on the other Fox Sports Ohio if you're in the Columbus metro area. At 7 o'clock, it will be the Knicks taking on the 76ers. We'll see what happens with the Cavs, too, tonight. We'll see if Irving and Smith and everybody will gel together. The Knicks will hit the road to play the 76ers, 7 o'clock tip-off. The worst 2 teams in all of basketball, the Knicks and the 76ers, clashing in Philly. The Pacers taking on the Hawks. 7:30 start time for that one. Pistons at home to take on the Orlando Magic. The Raptors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Timberwolves taking on the Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers taking on the Pelicans in New Orleans. The 8 o'clock tip-off is the Thunder taking on the Wizards, and the Trailblazers taking on the Suns. The late games tonight at 10 o'clock, the Nets are on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings, and the Rockets are taking on Golden State. Tomorrow on the docket is Thursday, so it is the Thursday night games on TNT. So here's some of the games for you. The Bulls will host the San Antonio Spurs at 8 o'clock on TNT, and the late game on TNT, the Nets taking on the Clippers. Other notable games, the Jazz taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Portland Trailblazers hosting the Boston Celtics. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight at MTS Center between the Blue Jackets and the Jets. I hope the Jackets pull away with the victory and get to 500 by the All-Star break. Tomorrow on All Andy Alfred, we'll break down the game for you and get you set up for this special All-Star weekend coming up. Programming note, we will not be on the air on Friday, this edition of All Andy Alfred, due to the fact that the NHL will not have any games happening on Thursday. The only game happening on Thursday really will be the NBA games. So we are not going to be taping a show Friday to get you set up for Saturday and Sunday's editions of All Andy Alfred live from Columbus, Ohio for the NHL All-Star Game. So tomorrow will be our last show here at the Studio 71, Team Foligno Studios. Remember to keep using the hashtag NHL Breakaway Johansson, as well as using the NHL hashtag NHL All-Star or NHL Fanfare. Also, want to make mention of this too. Don't forget that we will be in Columbus, like I said, on Saturday and Sunday for the All-Star Fest, and we will be also in Columbus on Tuesday for the NHL game against the Blue Jackets and the Washington Capitals. Will Ovechkin, after coming off the All-Star break, be in tip-top shape, or will Sergei Baratsky be stopping him? 7 o'clock start time for that one. A special version of All Andy Alfred on the road on Tuesday afternoon. I hope you that show will be taped. That show will be taped. So letting you know that ahead of time. We'll give you my reactions on Monday night. Monday night will be our next show here at Studio 71 here in East Toledo, Ohio. After tomorrow's show, Monday show will be from here. We'll recap what we saw in Columbus, and it'll be a special evening version of the program. Will be on the air around 6 o'clock on Monday evening. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast as much as I did today. I hope you stay warm out there. If you're in the Toledo metro area, drive safely. It is very slushy, very snowy outside right now. Please be careful out there. As well as if you're coming to Columbus, please be careful, because what we are hearing that is going to be a little bit of a sloppy mess Sunday night leaving Columbus. So please drive safely home on Sunday night. That's going to wrap it up for All Andy Alfred today. I hope you enjoyed this program. Like I said, on tomorrow's program, we will break down the NHL final game for the Blue Jackets before the All-Star break. We'll talk about the ECHL All-Star game and what we saw and witnessed. And we will also talk about the NBA and what happens tonight at the Q between the Cavs and the Utah Jazz. I'm Andy Alfred. I hope you have a terrific afternoon. And as always, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together, the game of life. And to the teams behind me, and to your team that you root for at home as well, victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. Have a good evening, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for another edition of All Andy Alfred. I love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. OAR, take me out. I stopped and said a breath of air, my soul may down some, but that's just fine with me. Surprise, surprise, I'm totally in, but in my somewhere I know my friends are here. The years I spent, I found saying see you guys. Come take me home.